My name is Firouzagar, and this is the SilReview, where I take books that every entrepreneur and business owner should be reading, books on building up your business and on mindset, and I break them down for you. I'm really excited. So for those of you guys who've been tuned in, you guys know I've been reviewing this book, 2020 Hindsight. I've been going through, we've learned quite a few lessons. This is the author, in the flesh. So Parviz is a serial entrepreneur. This guy is amazing, has been involved in so many different industries. I mean, from fast food delivery services to the gold industry, to real estate, to mentorship, business writings, basically anything, you name it, he's done it and he's been successful in it. And that's why he wrote his books, which currently, 2 of them out on Amazon. The first one is 2020 Hindsight, and the second one is right here, The Secrets of Wealth. And his third book will be coming out in 2020 Hindsight. The sequel will be coming out in a few weeks. It'll be available on Amazon. And all right, so Parviz, would you like to tell my audience what inspired you to start your entrepreneurial journey?
Oh, nothing inspired me. I had no choice. It was in my blood. When I went to college, I was pretty bored, and I was just itching to go out there and start a business. And like I said, I didn't have a choice in that. I went out and I just did it. Learned the hard way, and learned a lot of lessons over the years. And those are the lessons that I share in my books. It's been a wonderful journey, though, and one of the things I've learned is through ups and downs, you have to be grateful for both the ups and the downs, especially the downs, the failures, the mistakes, because that's where your real lessons come from.
And I'm guessing that's then what inspired you to write the books, being able to share the knowledge to others as well?
Absolutely. It's, what defines me is, number one, being a creator. I create new things that have never been done before. And also a teacher. I enjoy imparting my knowledge to other people and helping them become successful. There are some things that are really foundational to becoming successful. And one of those things is understanding what success is. Most people would define success as a financial measure, but it's not. Success really has nothing to do with money. Success is about fulfillment, and fulfillment comes from doing what you love and making a great living doing it. Can you become rich doing it? Absolutely. There are different ways of doing that I describe in my books. But success is about doing what you love. We all know rich people who are miserable as can be. And all they want is more money, more power, and then they become even more miserable. So money and happiness, money and fulfillment do not necessarily coincide. First, you have to do something you love, become successful doing it, and then the money follows. It follows automatically. So your prime ingredient for success is understanding what you're looking for, what it means to be successful, and then, most important of all, follow your passion. Do something you love, and there's a couple reasons for doing this. Number one, if you do what you love, it's not really work, is it? Because you're doing something you love. It provides you with the motivation and the energy to get up in the morning and go to work. That's number one. Number two is really even more important. Have you ever tried reading something that you're not interested in? It's impossible. It's impossible to absorb the information, to learn the information. We end up reading it over and over and over again, and it still doesn't sink in. But read something that you're interested in, and you just can't get enough. That's why when you jump into something that you're passionate about, you will learn everything you need to learn very quickly. I've always taken this to an extreme. I've always found something that I was really interested in that I knew nothing about, and I jumped in anyway. 6 months later, I was an expert. A year later, typically, it was a multi-million-dollar company by then. And this was something that I knew absolutely nothing about when I jumped in. But it looked really interesting to me, and it had the potential for me to become very passionate about it. That's your number one ingredient for success.
Bam. I'm glad you brought that up, because that's the part when I was reading, especially the first book, that I was like, wow, he would go into these new endeavors knowing nothing about them, just knowing this sounds interesting, this looks interesting, I'm gonna dive in and I'm gonna master this. So that is super, super cool. And that's one of the things as well, one of the points that brought to me for everyone who's just starting new is don't worry so much about the fact that you're brand new or you don't know anything about something that you love. If you love it, get to know it. Immerse yourself in it and then work towards it. One of the big takeaways that I took, especially out of the first book, was about goals. There's two methods that he uses for goal setting. Would you like to describe them?
Sure. Goal setting has been an integral ingredient in my success in my career. And it's not, you hear a lot about having to set goals. All successful people set goals. But the real skill is not in setting goals, even though that helps. The real skill is in learning how to make those goals come true. And I was introduced to a book a long time ago called The Path of Least Resistance by Robert Fritz. This book changed my life. It taught me a method of goal setting that can make virtually any goal come true, even if you don't know how to get there. Now, we have a lot of goals. Let's say we have a bucket list. We have goals. Maybe it is to learn to make a six-figure income, whatever your goal may be. And we can figure out, okay, what do I need to get there? And we can create steps, and we can divide it into small steps. I call them baby steps. And then through baby steps, one after another, eventually you'll get to your goal. It's a certainty. There are a lot of goals that can be fulfilled by using that method. But there are other goals that are so ambitious that we may not even know how to get from A to B. And this second goal-setting technique will still work for those situations. You can set yourself a goal that sounds so out of reach, so ambitious, let's say, that you have no idea how you could ever make this come true. And in my book, I describe a technique to you that once you learn it, it will make those goals come true. Because what it does is, I call it the subconscious method. The first method that I mentioned, where you create the steps to get from A to B, is like the conscious method. You know exactly how you're going to do it. Your conscious mind is creating the path. But if you don't know how to get there, there's a way to mobilize your subconscious mind to create the path for you. And your subconscious mind is 90% of what you're capable of. It's like an iceberg. Only about 10% of an iceberg is visible above water. Well, that's your conscious mind. The other 90% is your subconscious mind. Imagine the power if you learn how to mobilize your subconscious mind to make your goals come true. That's what I teach you in the goal setting chapter. In my upcoming book, which will be on Amazon in about 3 weeks, there's actually a recommended reading list in there for books that really made a profound difference to me.
One of the things that I saw in, and once again, his book, 2020 Hindsight, Traits of Success. What are some traits that successful people have? And I know we talked about this just a few minutes ago as well. What is the number one trait that you think all successful people ought to have? Well, I mean, you have quite a few, but...
Quite a few.
Yeah.
Well, if you go around, and lots of studies have been done on this, if you go around and you ask successful people what their habits are, very high on the list is goal setting and to-do lists. Successful people are typically very structured in how they do things. I work off a to-do list. I have them on my iPhone, my iPad, on paper, on my computer. I use them everywhere. I've used them all my life. To-do lists are very, very important. Goal setting is an absolute must. Another trait of successful people is an expression of gratitude. Most successful people, contrary to popular belief, most wealthy people became that way very honestly. The number of people who became wealthy through dishonest methods are in the vast minority. I know a lot of people think it's the other way around. It's not. And those people who became successful typically are very grateful people. They are grateful for what the universe has given to them, the opportunities that have opened up, and they express that gratitude essentially on a daily basis. And this is actually very important because gratitude is what makes the law of abundance work for you. The law of abundance says that what you put out will come back to you. This is an absolute law of the university. It's kind of like what goes around comes around. Expression of gratitude multiplies the power of the law of abundance. So successful people on a daily basis, in some way, through prayer, through whatever means works for them, express gratitude for all the wonderful things that surround them that they have been blessed with. That is a definite foundational requirement in order to become successful. Another foundational requirement is your attitude towards success. If you believe that most people became successful or wealthy through dishonest means, sheer luck or inheritance, first of all, you're wrong, and secondly, your chances of becoming successful yourself are virtually zero. The same if you have a dependency mentality, or you believe that everything that happens to you is someone else's fault. Everything gets blamed on someone else. If you're that type of person, and we all know people like that, those type of people, their chances for success are absolutely zero. It simply will not work. So you have to have the right kind of attitude towards success too. Also very foundational. Another one, and we should all be doing this, is we need to be students of personal growth. This means reading the right books: Napoleon Hill, Dale Carnegie, Earl Nightingale, Jack Zufel, Brandon Bouchard, Tony Robbins, Dennis Waitley. There are hundreds of authors out there. You can read their books, you can listen to their audio tapes in your car while you drive, you can go to their seminars. But here's the important thing. The information they impart to you is incredibly valuable. It will not only teach you the foundation of what it takes to become successful, it will make you a happier person because you'll be that much more in control of your future, and that will make you happier. But here's the thing that nobody ever tells you that you need to know. Have you ever met somebody who went to, let's say, a Tony Robbins seminar, came back completely pumped up with all the information that they need, absolutely amped and excited about their future? They now have all the tools they need. And then 3 weeks later, they're exactly where they started. Nothing happened. Why is that? What is it that they don't tell you at these seminars? Because the information is great. The motivation is there. Everything is there. But then you end up back where you started. What they don't tell you is that motivation is like food and water. You can't eat and drink just once and expect not to have to eat and drink for the rest of the week. You can't go to the gym and work out for a week and expect the gains to last. Motivation is like that. It needs to be a daily ritual. You need to feed yourself on a daily basis. You need to read books, you need to read audio tapes, go to an occasional seminar. You can even watch speeches and lessons on YouTube for free. There are just countless numbers of them. The point is, you need it on a virtually daily basis, because if not, it fades away. Just like if you don't eat, you get hungry. It's the same thing with motivation. And no seminar out there, no personal growth teacher for some reason tells you this missing ingredient. Well, I just told you. So make sure you become a student of personal growth and stay there. Do it on a daily basis.
Awesome. All right, you guys. So that passed by really, really fast. Parviz, thank you so much for coming. It's great tidbits of knowledge. I highly recommend you guys get his books. Once again, I am. They're really good. Parviz, thank you once again.
Thank you.